felt that. Was anybody here over at the Capitol? I felt this tremendous energy. I feel like there's something that's happening in Wisconsin that hasn't happened here in 100 years. Yesterday, we remembered the Wisconsin 14 coming back to the Capitol, but I kept in the last month having flashbacks to the day when we left the Capitol. I took a call at 6 in the morning from Senator Miller on the morning of the 17th of February, and he said, Kathleen, don't go into the Capitol, because if you do, you're going to be followed by a state patrol officer, and your movements are going to be very limited. 3 hours later, I was intent on driving towards the Illinois border before the gavel fell, opening that Senate session. And I was prepared to go to the floor to amend the bill, to debate it, to delay it. But in the end, I knew that they had the votes, and we were going to lose. At that point, it was more powerful for us to not vote than to vote. Because the Senate doesn't have a filibuster, not like the United States Senate. But we did have the power of the Constitution to stop the process. And by stopping the process, we gave people time to understand what was in this bill. And it was about workers' rights, but it was also about chipping away of the civil service system that Bob LaFollette put in place in 1905. It was about the selling off of state assets and no-bid contracts. It was about centralizing power in the governor's office. It was about dismantling the Medicaid system, the health programs that so many people in Wisconsin depend on, and people did not know what was happening. And by giving people the time to understand and communicate and organize, we gave the people of Wisconsin time to take back their power. And that's what I can't really put in words yet what's happening in Wisconsin, but everywhere I go, everyone I talk with in Republican and Democratic areas and independent areas and rural areas and urban areas, there is a palpable feeling that something is happening. Something that is so much more powerful than any of us. Something much bigger than any of us. And I think about Bob LaFollette, and I think about him standing in front of the legislature in 1905 and first coming up with the idea of the recall, and it was being talked about in other states. And I think that he would be most proud looking down at his Wisconsin today. I just came from an event in Madison, on the east side of Madison, and there was a woman that was there that had come actually from Blackbird Falls, which is my neighborhood, and she was one of the legendary box carriers. Does anybody know what I mean when I talk about the legendary box carriers? You came so far too from Vilas County. The legendary box carriers were the people who carried the boxes of petitions from the U-Haul truck up the stairs to the Government Accountability Board to deliver the petitions, and there were like 84 boxes maybe? More than that. You got them all, so you're a double legendary box carrier. A round of applause for the legendary